Hey, I only did it in a minute.
Wow. There's a record.
Things are looking up.
I just
You
hope
can only
everything
go
works.
better from here.
Woo! Oh, there's the jinx. God damn it. Wonderful. Welcome, boys and girls. To another episode of Isles Talk. This is season 7, episode 2. The title is called Finding Themselves. We'll dive deeper into that later on. Mr. Joe Panettiere, welcome, sir. Thank you for coming back for another episode. You and I punched the Islanders in the gut season 1, and we did not get in trouble for that. I'm kind of shocked, but we're back, and I'm happy you're still here.
Well, you know the saying, when you're right, you're right. That's it.
And coming back for another season, the godfather of Isles social media, the man himself, all
The
things
emeritus.
Isles here.
Just call me the emeritus. That's a better time.
The emeritus, yes. Gary Harding. Gary, oh boy, welcome back.
Hey guys, it's good to be back. I appreciate all the kind words and everything that came out of my brother-in-law passing a couple of weeks ago. It was a tough time for both Claire and I, but we're doing better. It's time to talk puck, so let's get at it.
All right, let's do it. Did the regular season
Not for us.
That was good, Jim.
Nice way to start.
So yeah, listen, folks. Joe and I said this last week, and Gary's in agreement. This whole organization is in a transitional year, and it goes back to the late 80s, early 90s. It's something similar to that, where way back when we said goodbye to the dynasty players, and we were embracing the new kids in town. And we've been doing that lately with the team that went to 2 Eastern Conference Finals. We've said goodbye to Cal Clutterbuck, Noah Dobson, Brock Nelson, Matt Martin, among others, Josh Bailey. And now we're slowly welcoming in the new kids coming in. But gentlemen, this transition so far, first 3 games of the season, granted. But Gary, you had said in the preview, well, I had said it for you. If there was enough passion and if there was enough effort and they still lost, you would be happy with that. Granted, it's been 3 games. Are you happy with the first 3 games other than the wins and losses?
I'm on the fence. I'm usually, everybody that knows me over the years knows I'm always trying to find something positive. I mean, there are obvious things that we can look at over the first 180 minutes of the season and see, good things. I really, really wonder what is going in people's minds. Yes, there's a game plan that coaches are presenting to the players. The players have the knowledge on what's going on, but looking at it from my seat, something's missing. I don't know if it's just going in one ear and out the other. I don't know. But I mean, first periods used to be a good thing for this team. Right now, to me, it's their worst period. And they're just constantly behind the 8 ball. And, I don't think we haven't had a lead all year.
Nope.
So, that's tough. And you don't want situations where, players' psyches are messed up. And, usually you say it around game 60, 65 when you're going to, heading into crunch time. But this is game 3. This is not the kind of start you want to have. I mean, if you want to put one positive spin, at least we scored goals at home.
Okay,
unlike other places.
that's true.
You got to have some kind of positivity, but you know, I think tomorrow is gonna, you know, I didn't want to say, you know, I always say the words litmus test. You know, going back to your chemistry days. I did not expect to have to say the word litmus test on game 4. But this is a snowball turning into an avalanche very quickly. And I just can't, in my heart of hearts and my hockey knowledge, put, you know, a lot of positive spin with the exception of one thing. And well, actually a couple of things. I like, you know, we'll just talk about Matthew at another point, but
Okay,
there's a couple of guys that have impressed me. I've liked the way Emil Heineman's played.
good.
You've moved him from line to line, and he's basically done everything you want him to do.
Right.
So I'm very pleased with that acquisition. I like the way Duclair has come out. He's shown a little gumption, a little bit of grit. I like how I've seen him play so far, but you know, there's not a lot else.
Right.
There's really not a lot else, and it's disappointing. But you know, tomorrow I can't believe I'm saying how big of a test tomorrow is. And you know, you don't make the playoffs in game 3, but you know, those games in game 2 and game 3 that you really should have played better could be the telltale sign. But I'll leave it up to you two guys to talk about it.
Well, Joe, you and I were talking about this before. I don't know what you've seen, so you know, correct us if I'm wrong on this. But when I'm watching the Islanders right now, several steps back, the big picture here, I'm looking at players who either can't or won't play the system that's being implied. I'm seeing a coach who can't or won't change up some of his style to strengthen the players, like to help out their strengths.
Right.
And then I'm looking at a goaltender who is either being hung out to dry or he's giving up that soft goal that's just like, Maron, I could have saved that. Like, this is a collective effort here. What are you seeing on the ice?
Well, I think our best shifts. Let's take that. Was against the first 6 minutes of the game against Winnipeg.
Okay.
We that was domination. The kids were using their speed. They were forechecking, couldn't score, and then once the Jets scored, that was it. I think they took the 2 or 3 goal lead, and tell you the truth, I actually turned the game off.
That's what I've been doing too.
I can't watch it. I
Right.
mean, you know, I'm watching the game, and to tell you the truth, I don't even actually see them playing a system. I don't see them playing a system. It's either the other team is beating them to the puck,
Right.
beating them to the spots where the puck is supposed to go,
Right.
but I don't see them. See, it's hard to say, but we're used to seeing the Islanders play a certain type of hockey. Okay, trap system, forecheck,
Defense first, right.
The kids are quick. They get on the puck. I'll give them that, but it's what you do once you get that puck. Okay. Now I've maybe seen them watching the game the other night, the first period and a half, whatever I watched. I mean, I could tell you they cycled the puck 5 times. You know, dump it, chase it, get control. What are you doing with it? Nobody in front of the net. I just don't see them playing a solid system. Now, Waz said he was going to make changes. I mean, your third game in. I mean, you're already making changes, I mean, that tells me either the players aren't playing to the coach's likes or the players don't like the coach.
Right.
That's what I'm getting. Now, as
Right.
far as the defense, like we'll put Schaefer aside, whatever you going on with
Sure.
him.
Sure.
What defense? What defense? Now that
Right.
affects Sorokin.
Right.
He has to make five, 6 big saves, okay, and then he lets in a weak one. This is where goalies get worn out. This is where goalies get hurt. Okay, that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a team that's lost. So I mean, it's 3 games in. All right, yeah, they got to find themselves, but you know what? You got to climb over a lot of teams now. You're dead last. Okay, don't go by points yet. Go by how many teams you have in front of you. Because all those teams right now are playing better than you, and you're digging yourself a hole that we don't have the capability of climbing out of. Already, look at the goal. 3 games in, look at the goals for, goals against. Okay? We're looking at that goals against, I don't know, mid 3s, goals for, low 2s. I don't know. What kind of product we have on the ice? That's what's Waz plan? So
Well, I will say I do find it a little funny, and this is a little bit. I'm going to do this a little humorous, but kind of draws the point at the same time. I understand where fans are coming from when they say this is a Doug Weight system. Okay, I'm going to go a little deeper with you guys. Okay, this is not a Doug Weight system yet. Gary's got a grin because he's like, oh no, what's he going to say? Listen, Doug Weight, love him. But when that season was going on, we were expecting a 4-game winning streak, and then a 5-game losing streak, and then a 2-game winning streak, and a 3-game losing streak, so on and so forth. Okay? We were expecting a 6-2 win one night, and then we were expecting a 6-2 loss the next night. Like, it was the greatest inconsistent of consistencies in that season. Okay. Oh, yeah. You had literally the Islanders scoring 360 goals, whatever it was, but they gave up almost 400.
Yeah.
Folks, we're not even near that. Okay.
Yeah.
The Islanders are so consistent right now, but they don't have the goal scoring. They're still trying, and that was Gary.
Yeah.
I love you, Gary.
I'm just hanging out here.
Not yet. I love doing this to you. But it's one of those. Look, and that's why I put the title of the show, Finding Themselves. They don't know who they are yet. There's no Cal Clutterbuck anymore. Now there's definitely no Matt Martin. You're transitioning from the defensive first to more offense. And it's like Joe said, the defense and the goaltending are going to be affected by the offense first.
Mm-hmm.
Look, and I'll give Doug Weight credit. That was probably the best dramatic season I think we've experienced in God knows how long. Because even if it was 3-0, we all stayed because it's like, oh, these guys can score 3 goals, 4 goals in like 5 minutes. This is not over.
They did that quite a few times that season. Yep.
They did that a few times. Okay. But like Joe said, and I'm kind of with him, I did this for 2 games. When it was 4-0, 3-0, we turned it off. Because the good teams just clamped down in the 3rd period, and it's over. So yes, everyone right now, yes, it is the D, yes, it is the goaltending, but if we're all going to transition as a fan base right now, I think the focus first has got to be the offense. You're basically averaging 2 goals a game, guys. 2 goals. You're not winning anything.
No.
That's too steep when the average right now is 3, maybe a little bit more than that, 3, maybe 3.5 this early in the season.
Right.
And it's like what Dan Rosen already said. The Islanders are down 2 wins to none on most of these teams. And, we don't know what they're going to do against Edmonton. They could be down by 3 or 4 wins. You can't do that now. So, it's tough. Go ahead, Gary.
No, and the only thing I was going to say that I should have brought up, and I think the one plus, other plus I'll give is that the power play actually almost looks plausible.
Good.
I'll say plausible.
Let's put Charles in here.
That part I'm impressed. When we've gotten on the power play, nobody's been sitting. Everybody's been moving. It might be the influence of a certain player we'll keep nameless for now, but the moving around to their feet, they're getting opportunities. They're getting good looks. They're bringing up the puck the right way. I like what I've seen.
Good.
So I'll take a positive that way. Yes, they went 0 for 5 against Winnipeg the other day, but they didn't look like an inept 0 for 5. Right. There were chances. There were good opportunities. I definitely feel better about it than I did last year. But, as we said, this, it sucks that we're talking about things this way. I mean, preseason is preseason. I saw observations. I saw some decent things, but it doesn't matter. It's what you do, when the gates come up and, you're roaming the first turn, and already we're, using horse terms, we're 12 lengths back already.
Right.
And we haven't even made the first turn yet. So that's, I always try to, everybody knows I always try to have something positive, but right now it's hard. It's hard.
Okay, well, let's go with the positive. All right, first off, editor's note, do not answer Randy when he says who won the cup in 89, because that goes back to what Joe and I were talking about, the transitional year from like 88 to 92, and I brought up 89. Randy was being a jerk that night, and he keeps asking now who won the cup in 89. Yes, it was the Calgary Flames. Yes, he's trying to piss me off. Yes, he did a good job of it. Yes, this is his 2 minutes of fame. Everyone ignore him now. I'm done with him. He's pissed me off. Ignore that question from now on. Okay? Now.
You've hit the S list.
Yeah. I'm done with him. But, Gary, Joe, let's go with the positives here. Let's talk about the kids. Let's talk about Schaefer. What have you liked about Matthew Schaefer so far? Gary. Or Joe. Whoever wants to go first.
I'll go.
Go ahead.
I still think he's way above, he's gone way above expectations. There's no question about it.
Sure.
The one game I went to, obviously going to the opener, it was loud every time he touched the puck. It was, you can see, how much he was looking forward to this and how much he's taking everything in. But to me, I'm still looking at the little things. I know he's going to be able to rush the puck, from end to end. I know he's going to be able to, look for, the options. Claire right away said something at opening night, and she says, it seems like even if he does miss the net by a little bit, he's getting the puck there. He's trying to get himself to get that puck into the net to get rebounds. And, it's evident, I look at him, I look at Ryan Pulock. I mean, the man's got a blistering slap shot. I think he's used it once in the last 12 games, but going back to Schaefer, I like what I've seen when he's made a mistake, when he's done something he should, that immediately kicks something, and he either gets back into the play or does the right thing. That's what I like. And it's not, you don't see much on his face, if there's negative happening. You don't see that, that disappointment. He always looks like he's looking to do something next. And I hope that rubs off on other guys, because it's a breath of fresh air. Paul, and I have had discussions on the phone, and he's, me all the, the scenarios that are going to happen. And, you can't predict, obviously you can't predict injuries. You can't predict anything like that. But
no,
I think this kid has an awareness that you just don't see out of somebody 18 years old. And, it's a product of the environment. It's a product of what's happened to him, maybe. But I'm very impressed. Could things change? Yeah, it could. He's a rookie. He's 18. There's going to be situations, but I think we have not seen a persona or an attitude or, that kind of a happenstance from a kid that age on this team. We've seen McDavid, we've seen a Bedard, we've seen these guys that were number 1 or even 2, 3, or 4, like a Cale Makar. It's just stood up and made themselves, made their presence felt. And, we haven't witnessed it.
Right.
So I'm happy. I think things are in the right direction, and I hope, like I said, I hope it rubs off on the rest of the team.
Well, Gary covered basically everything I would say too. But when I'm amazed is with this kid, when he steps up at the blue line in the offensive zone and he just gets back on D and comes back into the play with that speed. I mean, that's amazing. We haven't seen that on this team in a long time. A defenseman with that type of speed. Yeah, well,
Letty might be the closest. I'd even go Devon Tays. But the way this kid handles the puck, sure.
Yeah. Hey, look, he's going to make mistakes. They're going to come, and they might be costly. But you know what? Robin made it. If you could go back on your text, Robin made a good point that the team is playing two styles of a game. Okay, and we talked about this earlier this afternoon. Okay, what I said with the veterans and with the young kids. Okay,
right.
Which is it?
Right.
Okay, that's what I was trying to say to you this afternoon. You have your set of veterans, you have your set of young kids, and there's no system. It's like you're watching two different types of a game in one game, two different styles of play. But that's the point. That was an excellent point.
Yeah,
but
no, and I will say this. I will say this with Schaefer right now. I don't think he can go back to juniors after 9 games. If he can't go back, and this is what I'm looking for, folks. I love the enthusiasm from Islander fans when they start to see patterns of a Cale Makar, of a Heiskanen. Like, this kid is finally here. He's on the island. He's ours. Okay? I love that passionate part that the Islander fans have. And to an extent, there is some truth to that. You guys know I'm always hard on prospects. Always shall be, always will be. But if the Islanders do decide to keep Schaefer here, which at this point, I don't think they have a choice. There are a couple of things that I'm going to be looking at here with Matthew Schaefer. Is he succeeding because of the system that's in place? Or is he just going to tear up the NHL? And the way we're going to see that is how the NHL is going to welcome, in a sense, Matthew Schaefer. Matthew Schaefer now has 3 points in 3 games. He has the speed. He's getting recognized. But now there's also video on him. I'm not saying the NHL is going to come after him, but I want to see how the NHL is going to play defensively against Matthew Schaefer. I want to see Matthew Schaefer have difficulties. I want to see those growing pains this season. I want to see him struggle and then succeed later on. That's the maturity I'm looking for. It's not necessarily up here. It is. It's more of the mental and stuff, which he has. But let's be honest here. His wrist shot is average at best. His transitioning through the zones is phenomenal. But when he runs out of real estate, especially they did this with Winnipeg. Winnipeg sat back with their defenseman, waited for Schaefer to come in. And he kind of pulled a Matt Barzell. He's in by himself, and then he just got zoned by 2 defensemen, and he turned the puck over. But those are your basic growing pains that he's eventually going to learn to get out of. That's the growth I'm looking to see.
Just to make a point, and since Joe and I are definitely more on years than you are, Paul, we can look at it. Well, we can look at it and say that we saw it and we knew it well. Denny Potvin in 1973-74 in that first season, the amount of mistakes he made was phenomenally large.
Sure.
But Al stuck with him, and he said, and basically just let him do what he needed to do. Right. He learned baptism by fire. And I think, as you said, once, obviously, technology and everything else is different in 74 now, and they know how he plays, and and teams are going to key on that. But the way that a good player, as he's coming through and becomes a great player, is how he can deflect from that and how to turn away tendencies that he normally does to do something else to make it harder on the opposing team. And that's what makes a good player an even better player or a great player. I don't want to put him at that level, but that's what you want to see. You want to see that line going up, going up. There's going to be a dip and a ebb and flow here and there, but looking at the slope, you want to see that slope move up. And it's gone very high to start, so there's going to be a dip here or there. But I think the attitude, I think the way this kid has been coached, I think is a testament to what I think he can be, and that's why he was rated number 1. That's why people put him in front of Misa and Hagens and all those other guys, is because it's because of up here.
No doubt.
That's got to translate to the ice.
And it will at some point.
No question.
I want to see.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Give him this season.
Yes.
Let him get his stamina. Let him get through the grind.
Yes.
Next season, his sophomore year. Okay. Yeah. Let's see what he does. Let him get through this. Listen, by game 30, 35, he's going to start feeling, worn down.
Going to feel it.
The bumps and bruises, broken nose, couple of teeth knocked out.
Maybe. You know what I'm saying? Welcome to hockey life. Right.
Welcome to hockey life. The way they look now, they don't look like that at the end of the season. They're banged up. Those fresh faces are gone. But I say what you're saying, Paul and Gary, let's see that. Give him this season, all right? I mean, the way the season's going to go, the team doesn't have flow. But I want to see that next season. I want to see everything start to level off with him. His game, his playmaking, his passing. All right. His 5-on-5 isn't that great. So
No.
let's see. Let's see what he
And I don't know, gentlemen, if you agree or not, but even Heiskanen played a year in Liga before he came to the NHL. Cale Makar spent 2 seasons
At heart.
in BU, and then he only played 54 and 44 games in those COVID years with the Avalanche before he went off. Granted, he was a point per game in all those games, but when he finally played a full season, he won the Stanley Cup. Like, that probably was the best development route of any defenseman that I've seen in a very long time. Would you like to see Matthew Schaefer play the full season, or do you think they should pull in the reins, like you said, Joe, going through the grind? Should there be a concern, or is this literally a trial by fire? Like, how would you like to see this handled? If he's not going back to juniors, 50 games, 60 games,
you gotta play him. You
Okay.
got to see what he has. Hey, listen, the quicker, if he plays a steady game, okay, and I'm not saying, putting the puck in the net, well, whatever, just playing a solid,
no, just playing,
solid game,
playing, right?
a decent game,
Right.
fine. Keep him here. Let him
Right.
let him get through the grind. I mean, sooner or later, he's gonna have to play these games. So why not now? I mean, I'm not expecting anything from this team. I had them finishing 5th,
Max,
right?
Max, right?
Right. I told you they were going to be last, but I don't want people calling me up and threatening me. The season didn't even start. You got the, but
Yeah.
listen,
5 through 8.
listen, we all want to see this kid do good. Okay.
Right.
We all love him. He's ours. But if we have to write this season off to get him comfortable, to get all these kids comfortable, not just him, we got a few young kids on the team now.
Right.
Listen, if we got to write it off, we got to write it off, because there's no other way to do it right now. They got to keep people in the seats. Okay. You have to have a competitive team. You have to have a competitive team for people to come watch the games. Okay.
True.
But this is the way it's got to be done. And unfortunately, right now, the team looks lost. Hopefully they put it together and, they're in some of these games. But I want to see this kid, get through the grind. And if you're going to do it this season, because this is the way we started off, it doesn't look positive. So,
Right.
3 games in and we're saying that, and that's,
I know. I know. And that's a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
Joseph, it's a half hour.
Yeah, I got to go.
Good.
So,
Okay.
guys, good talking with you.
Everyone
Gary.
say goodbye to Joe.
Again. All right, everybody. Take
Have a good
care.
one, bud.
Randy,
Forget
Paul.
Randy.
I love Randy. Randy's a good guy.
Forget Randy. Randy's on my shit list.
Take care, boys.
All right.
care.
See ya.
So no, I like that. That's
No, I mean,
weird,
you
but
got to
do
remember
You want to see?
when they had the season ticket holder meeting with Patrick and Matthew, he said it 4 times in the question that Shannon asked, and said Matthew Schaefer made this team, not because he was the number 1 pick,
Right.
because he made the team.
Right.
So I can't, anybody that says you're going to take him at 9 games, absolutely not. He's here to stay. He's not going anywhere. He's not going to the Canadian junior team for the World Championships and at New Year's. He's not going anywhere. Everybody was like so high up on it, and now, with 3 bad games the team played, everybody's like, oh, dust them off, send them off. No. You've hyped this kid up. The organization has hyped this kid up.
It's true.
He's taking it all in like a sponge. And if there was any other kid that is in this position, I don't think they would have done or handled or took this, I think, as well as him. And it's because, again, it's all because of the person, not the hockey player. It's the person. And that's why I have no problem, no qualms, no nothing with him being here the whole year. Again, as I used Potvin as the correlation, let him make his mistakes. He will. There's no question about it. He's the youngest player in the National Hockey League right now. And people are going to expose it. But with his continence and his attitude, and I think his overall mental state, I think he'll fit fine. Obviously you worry about everything else with with an injury, with what have you, but it is game 4, guys. And going back to the overall team thing, it's game 4. Sure. We're not done yet. Okay. Don't write everything off. I mean, it's typical Islander response. Okay. Am I happy with what's going on? No, I'm not. And, I'm going to try to find a little gold filing in the pocket and say, let's go with that. But you just have to let these games brew. They'll find a way. Are we going to win 60 games, 50 games? Maybe not. No. But, let's not, jump off the ship at game 4. That's all I'm asking. And Randy, don't start with him.
All right. Well, listen. Give me your thoughts on Shabanov. Nice little spark plug there. Who's he?
Very nice. Yeah, he's another one I should have mentioned. He's one again. We talked about it before preseason started, and again, the concern was his size.
Right.
He's not playing like a 167-pound player. He's not afraid. He's not afraid to go in the corners. He's not afraid to dig out the puck. He's not afraid to make hits. And he's done. I mean, a la Jeremy Roenick's Spinorama movie made the other day. That was pretty impressive. He's not afraid to take shots from crazy angles either. I mean, look at that goal he scored in Pittsburgh. I mean, the puck was way behind him when he basically let it go. So there's talent there.
Right.
We thought we were going to see more of that with Siplikov, and we just haven't. But usually when these smaller Russian players come over, they're a little bit in fear of the North American game. They're fear of the smaller ice. He's not. He's taking it to task. And I think when he gets a little more comfortable with the game, I think you're going to see more. I think they really, I think they got a diamond in, I'm not saying he's going to win the Calder Trophy or, do all crazy things, but there's something good in him.
15 goals and 45 points isn't bad.
No.
That's a Brendan Gallagher type player.
For sure.
Okay. That's true. And Randy, it's what you don't say that aggravates us too.
Mm-hmm.
It's everything you don't say. And now he's laughing because now he knows what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So, any of the other young guns that we've been Heineman?
Again, that was one of the ones I praised. I really like his grit. I like the fact that he can do anything. You could put him, he's one of those Energizer bunnies. You can put him anywhere and he'll do whatever he needs to do. That's what I heard about him in Montreal, and he is doing exactly what I expected him to be. And you could put him on the first line with Barzal. You could put him on the fourth line with Casey, and whatever role you put him in, he's going to perform. And that's what I like.
Yeah, I love Robin. Team Canada. Mark, I'm going to address your question in a minute. I'll get to all of that in a minute. But listen, Gary, I got to give you credit where credit is due, big time here. This is part of the transition. This is part about, how this team is actually finding themselves. What parts of the system is going to work, what players are going to work in this system, moving forward and everything. But Gary's rule of 20 is right there. It may actually be 30 this year because this is a transitional year.
Mhm.
Or it's at least it's the start of it. And you're not going to see what this team really is until you start to see consistency. Unfortunately, we're seeing consistency on the wrong side, but when you
Consistently
start to see
inconsistent.
the good things happening over and over and over again, that's when, we can really start critiquing the team. And that may not happen until game 20.
Yeah,
And
I mean, this is not, using a baseball reference, this is not the 2024 Chicago White Sox. Okay.
right.
We're not going to be in that territory. This is not the 8-win Washington Capitals. Okay. It's not going to get to that level. Anybody in here that's got 1/100th of percent of being a hockey fan knows that.
Right.
Okay. So let's not talk like, there's going to be world records of ineptitude. Yeah, it didn't start great. And Buffalo, I believe, is winning now. So obviously, after today, if that happens, then we're the only team without a win.
Yep.
So
Yep. We'll be the only ones.
yeah. It just has to feed itself. We got time. I didn't talk. I wasn't here last week, and I didn't go into the predictions. But I mean, this is the first
your
time.
thoughts. Go for it.
This year was the first year I think I would have said it in probably 7 or 8 years that I did not in my prognostications predict the Islanders to make the playoffs. I did not. I'm honest. I'm honest with what I see in front of me. And we all talk transition. We all know what's happening. So basically, my psyche or my thought process is, if they do better than expected, then great. If they didn't, I expected a transition year. So I'm not going to be totally disappointed. I'll be bummed a little bit, of course, but
sure.
I know things are coming ahead. Bridgeport with a nice start. Mr. Warren with the AHL Player of the Week.
Yes.
I mean, there are good things to notice, and you've got a coach in Rocky Thompson that's going to work those guys like crazy. It's going to be a different atmosphere in Bridgeport. Yeah, thanks, Brush. But you've got positivity. You got positivity with the kids. Cal Ritchie going down there and working on his game, getting in every possible aspect, PK, power play, playing 23, 24 minutes a game. Get him going.
Yes.
Let him get some positivity there. I didn't want him it was going to be tough to see what would have happened if he would have made this, if he didn't have injuries. I think this is the perfect scenario for him. And, just let this team percolate a little bit and see what happens. Yeah, I think game 30 would be somewhere around the middle of January, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe earlier. That's right. They condensed a little bit.
Maybe
so
late December. Maybe
probably
late
around
December.
New Year's.
No, you're right in there.
Yeah, so probably around New Year's.
You're right in there.
Is a good way to see what's going to happen. And I think the experience that Darsh has seen in Tampa Bay, because he basically got there before the team started its vault. So he's seen both sides of the coin. So, I don't think he's gonna, rest on his laurels or, see what's going on. If there's a move to make, I think he's gonna make it. I don't think he's gonna wait because he's, seen what his predecessors in Tampa Bay have done. So all I can say to Islander Nation right now is just hang in there. Let's see what happens. This is it's not the end of the world. I think they're going to find themselves, just like you called the the episode of the show. I think they're going to find themselves. Is it to the level of where we wanted it? No, but players will find themselves. They always do.
Right. Beautiful, bro. Great to have you back.
Yeah, well, sometimes I impress myself.
All right. Well, listen, I'm probably going to tick off most of the fan base here. I'm going to take care of water cooler talk for you. Yeah, I'll let you off the hook on this one.
Thanks, bud.
All right, bud, get some rest. And I'm not sure about next week because, believe it or not, next Wednesday is my birthday. So I don't know exactly what I'm doing just yet.
Yeah, take a week off.
I'll take a week off. That's fine. We'll
Take a
come
week
back in
off.
2 weeks. We'll know by then.
Thanks, Paul. I appreciate you
All right,
letting me go handle your water cooler talk. And like I said, guys, just relax. This isn't the worst thing in the world. And once they get past this weekend, maybe the schedule's a little better. San Jose's coming in. You got weaker teams coming in. Things will improve. Don't worry. All right, I'm off, man.
All right, Gary. We'll
All
see
right.
you in a couple of weeks.
You bet, buddy. Take care.
All right, guys.
See ya.
All right. Oh, water cooler talk. All right, boys and girls, listen. It's kind of part of the whole transition thing. Okay. One of the first things that I want to know moving forward is this. Is Patrick Waugh here beyond this season? A lot of changes have been made to help him out. Is he really going to be here beyond this season? No one's got an answer for that. I'm sure we all have our personal opinions on that. But kind of like a sub question to that, does Darsh really want him here? Or do the owners really want him here? We're going to find out during the season, and I think that's really going to be telling moving forward. He's here, I think, for another 3 years, 2-year contract, whatever that is. I like this. Boquist a chance. Waugh probably will be back. That's not bad, Mark. So that's going to be one of those transitional questions for me. And here's the other one for you guys. And Matthew Schaefer kind of plays a part in this, and I'll explain why. As of right now, this is nothing from the Islanders. I can't necessarily confirm this, but it's kind of close, so I kind of trust this guy. And gal, believe it or not, I got 2. I'm already hearing JG Pageau is not getting traded. And the absolute chances of him getting traded at the trade deadline is like literally 50-50. So for those of you who want JG Pageau gone at the end of the season, put the brakes on that. A lot of this is going to be determined by this season, folks. Anders Lee is an even bigger question. You might be able to trade Tony DeAngelo. But from what I'm confident in here, I'm pretty confident right now. JG Pageau is not going anywhere. No, he's actually not. Let's put it this way, Robin. If Pageau right now is doing well enough that it's up to Richie to show something else now in Bridgeport. That's going to be part of it. If Richie starts to light it up, maybe they'll think about it. But right now, they're not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere. And he's been one of the better Islanders, believe it or not. He's also been that mentor. And that's the other thing with Schaefer. The idea is through this transition, the question is, how long is this transition going to take? And I don't think Islander fans are going to be happy with this answer, but this transition is really going to depend on Matthew Schaefer at this point. Because if you have someone like, excuse me, guys, if you get this group of, granted, older players, but the locker room is there, and you want Schaefer to learn the pro game, you want someone like Pageau still there. So, yes, he's I don't know if he's declining. He's fitting the system really well. So, for right now, I wouldn't count on Pageau getting traded just yet. By the trade deadline, I got told 50-50. So you guys literally are going to be watching this whole season. Unless they get blown away by a deal, I'm not counting on it right now. Mark, getting back to your question as well. Yeah, Pulock, Mayfield clogging up the payroll over the next few years. Also about the collective bargaining agreement, there was no mention yet of the buyouts. I haven't heard anything either, and I think that's going to be another reason why this transition is going to take a little longer. Some of these players are not going to get moved because, and I almost want to do a separate show on this. If you get rid of all of the veterans now, you're just repeating the same horrible steps that the Islanders have done now for like the last 30 years. Getting rid of veterans, bringing in the young guys, but then the young guys aren't ready yet, or there's not enough NHL. There isn't that veteran presence for these kids to lean on. You know what I mean? So I think I'm going to do a separate show on that. That's been the Achilles heel now for like the last 30 years. The Isles may put a string together. I mean, if they, again, that's what the Doug Weight system did. You literally won 5 in a row. If they were on, they were on. That's interesting. Richie can learn from Horvat. Difference of opinion. I don't think Richie's going to be a top 6, hon. My personal opinion. He might be a number 2 for a year or two, but I think he's going to be bottom 6. He might be a second line center for a couple of years, but he'd definitely be a strong third line center for sure. Remaining Luke contracts: Pelech, Mayfield, Enval, Pageau, Varley. Well, look, Varley is all medical. We don't know. That's easy. That's an easy one. Enval, you send him down on waivers? I don't know. We have more. We have more answers coming up in November when everyone gets healthy. What are they going to do? Where are they going to go? So that's why Gary's kind of telling you, take a few steps back. This team is still trying to find itself. And it, unfortunately for Islander fans, it may take a little while. Pelech and Mayfield, they're here. They're here. And that's what I mean. This is also on the coach to develop a system that can also work to their strength. Find that happy medium if that's where you can go. No, I'm not in a tank mindset either. No, but if you have the veterans and you have a player like Schaefer who's learning from the veterans, at some point, Schaefer's going to be able to take this team on his own and run with it. Then you can bring in as many younger players as you want because then you know who they're going to look up to. If you get rid of all of these players now that you guys want, you're not helping Schaefer. This transitional period is all about the growth and the maturity of Matthew Schaefer. You wanted him, you got him. You're going to have to grow with him now. You're going to have to go through the bumps, the bruises, the growing pains. You're going to have to go through that with him on this team. No, this is not going to be a long rebuild. No, stop with rebuild. No, this is not a rebuild. This is the late 80s, early 90s. LaFontaine and Sutter was still here, but they traded for Turgeon. They got Ferraro. They had all that, but then in their draft, they had Kasparaitis. They had Green. They had Palfy. They had Malakoff. They had a couple of the others. That was your 93 team. And look what happened when they kept the vets and they brought in the kids. You have something from 93. I'm not saying that's going to happen again, but you don't want this team spending. If you would, all right, I'll do part of the show that I was trying to think of. If you were to trade your veterans, for those of you who follow the show, I have what they call by like the lottery league. Okay, it's a lot of young prospects like the Chicago Blackhawks, the Anaheim Mighty Ducks, right? The Anaheim Ducks, the Utah Mammoth, the Ottawa Senators were there. New Jersey was there for a while. Buffalo is still in there. There are teams that just don't make the playoffs 2 years in a row or longer. Okay, the Islanders are going to enter the lottery league, kind of like in between the American Hockey League and the National Hockey League. Teams that make the playoffs, on a consistent basis, they're part of the NHL for me. Teams who just struggle every year and you're marking them off at the beginning of the season, they're in the lottery league. The Islanders are entering that point. If you continue to keep the veterans for now, you're not going to stay stuck in the lottery league as long like Ottawa did. Ottawa was 7 years. Montreal over a full season was 8 years. I think Detroit's at 8 years right now. Calgary's been now there, I think, 3 or 4 years. Pittsburgh's entering year number 4, I think. Again, Buffalo's been there for almost over a decade. You don't want that, folks. You don't want to be out of the playoffs longer than 3 or 4 years. I think what the Islanders are trying to do right now is keep the veterans here, continue to develop the prospects, and then they can do whatever they want, especially in this time frame. The transition from the late 80s, early 90s was roughly 4 years, right? But this time around, the Islanders they have the money. They have the money, especially with the cap going up. There's still going to be some kind of flexibility to maneuver around. Right. The Edmonton Oilers are an example. Exactly, Rich. We need to be the lottery. We need the lottery this year. Look, let the Islanders determine what they are. Let them do it. This is a year where you do not do any analytics. Forget that. Take a break from that this year. Several steps back. Pretend we're all in the stands and we're just watching. Forget the analytics. This is not the year for it. We didn't do analytics during the Doug Weight year. We didn't. That was the most fun. It was crazy, but it was also the most fun. Okay? if the Islanders are truly going to build their minor league systems like Washington has, Carolina has, Florida has, Tampa Bay has in the past, this is going to take not as long because you still have prospects now. You've got Team USA, and we've mentioned them before. And they were all on that last video that the Islanders made. Your Eisermans, your Nelsons, your Finleys, okay? They're all coming up soon. They're all coming up soon. A year in Bridgeport just to get the chemistry going? Me personally, I'm not even worried about the record this year. I hate giving him credit, but I got to do it. The problem with Bridgeport, too many rookies last year. Yes, and not enough veterans surrounding the kids, and that why they were terrible. Terrible. The coach wasn't coaching. That's it in a nutshell. 16 rookies last year, folks. That's why Bridgeport stunk. 16 rookies. How many do they have right now? 4. Some of them are a little older. I wouldn't consider them rookies, but you get the point. They're there now and they're ready. And now you're adding Cal Ritchie. Speaking of chemistry, my own personal selfish moment here. Cal Ritchie and Alex Jeffries on the same line, please. Any kind of chemistry would be phenomenal. I'll take that. That would be worth admission. And folks, let's go this way as well. Okay. We'll put this in the final thoughts. I have that down here somewhere. It's about Matthew. It's about Matthew Schaefer. It's about his development. It's about his growth. It's about his maturity. You guys are on the verge of witnessing something that we have not seen in a very long time. But this transition is going to be a little painful in the beginning. But the end result, you get to see the building blocks of quite possibly your future captain. Especially if you leave some of the veterans on this team a little longer. You allow the other prospects to catch up to Matthew Schaefer in the sense that if they can develop and win in Bridgeport, you're combining that winning environment with Schaefer's skill and leadership. Hell yes. Hell yes. Okay. What you may not like is that it's going to take a couple of years. It's going to take a couple of years. I think that's going to be on purpose. Matthew Darche could absolutely shrink it. We don't know what the NHL is going to do with the CBA and the buyouts and whatnot. We don't know yet. Is Matthew Schaefer worth the price of admission? No doubt. No doubt. But you wanted him. You got him. Now you guys have to go through some of that pain with him. It's been a long time coming. Yes, I could see Bridgeport qualifying for the playoffs. Only because they went through one year of hell. They want to experience that winning. I think that winning is going to get addictive. He is. He's very team oriented. But here's the thing. You start bringing up the kids who have been winning in Bridgeport, that's only going to help him. And the progress is going to be slow. Let's just be honest. Let's be real. The progress is going to be slow. But man, when they get it all together, yeah, Odelia sent to Worcester, and look, that's just ice time. It's just more ice time. I love the fact that some of these kids are going to Worcester just to get the ice time. I don't think it has anything to do with their talent. Get them the ice time. What do I think about Finley? Finley, for me, I still have him on pace as a Zach Parise type player, but as a New York Islander third line winger, um, there is some chemistry between him and Nelson. So I don't know where the kids are going to end up playing. But if you need a comparison in terms of style, go Zach Parise, third line for the Islanders for right now. Yeah, Greg, I hate to be harsh. I don't care. I just don't care about this. I don't care if the players are more transparent. I don't care if they want to interact with the fans or not. Um, I just might be too old for that. That's also an acceptable answer here. I don't care. We're all looking for wins. We're all looking for some kind of growth. Okay? I don't care about, honestly, how the players interact with the fans. A lot of people are into that. That's fine. More power to you. God love you. But me, I could care less. You give me a winning product or give me the effort, like Gary has said, I'm watching. They will get my support. That's fine. Anything social wise, whatever. Any other questions, comments, concerns that you guys have? Pulkkinen still has NHL potential? Of course. He just got here, though. He just got here. Give him some time, too. Give him all time. What's the status and expectations for George? Listen, George is another player right now. George and Richie are both down in Bridgeport. I had them both starting the season in Bridgeport. If there are injuries substantial enough that they need to get called up, I'm okay with that. But they're high on Patrick Waugh's list because they can play his system. For now, that's what you take. They can play his system, and that's why he wants them up. I thought Isaiah George was up here for a little longer than he should have. No offseason can change that, but you know, I didn't have either one of them coming up. Warren does look good. You know, Warren, I honestly thought I had him as Sebastian Aho's replacement at some point. He might still be that 7 defenseman later on. Who knows? But give these kids the time. Give these kids the time. Yeah, no, Heineman is shabby, definitely positives this year so far. And that's the other thing. For those of you who've been through rebuilds, who have been through the youth movements before, keep an eye on the kids this year. That's the growth you're really looking for. Keep an eye on Shabanov. Keep an eye on, Schaefer. Keep an eye on Heineman. Even Holmstrom. Let's see where Holmstrom goes and how he fits into the system and whatnot. Granted, fourth line, yeah, I think we're all in agreement with that. But people are calling George a bust. Why? No, he's not a bust. It's only year 2. He just got here. Yeah. Let's talk about this real quick. Romano and D'Angelo is becoming a real problem early as a D pair. Yeah. But again, Rich, I have a bigger problem with the offense right now. I do. The offense is only scoring 2 goals a game. That's a problem. The question is now, will the offense fix part of the defensive issues? Will it fix some of the goaltending? The offense for me, because we are switching from like defense first to offense more aggressive, that's not producing. So, yeah, for me, it's the offense. You gotta fix the offense first. If the defense is still doing what they're doing, okay, then we can talk about that. But that offense right now, 2 goals a game, fix that offense first. Yeah, but Sorokin's also being hung out to dry. We said that on the show before. You know that. Yeah, 2 goals a game, and we're playing an up-tempo style. You're not going to win you anything. Show me the offense. Show me the offense, and then, yeah, we'll have a discussion about the defense. You want the vets gone. Well, here I get you. I don't think it. Well, we've gone through this, and that's been the problem. If we just repeat history again, the Islanders are just going to be a one playoff team and out. Sorry. The Islanders went to the Eastern Conference Finals those 2 years because it was a shortened season. They went there. They did well with the hand that they were given, but this is a one round organization again. If you just trade everybody and you let the kids develop, God forbid we go back to the 90s. Don't do that. You got to keep the vets. You got to go through this pain. You got to go through this growth with Matthew Schaefer. You got to do it. Don't abandon this. Don't abandon this kid. Excuse me. Don't abandon this young man. You already adopted him. You adopted him. Now you got to go through it. Yes. Yes. They'll teach these kids how to be pros at the NHL level like we can't understand because we're not there. We can talk about it as much as we want, but we will never know the amount of information these young kids, these young prospects get from the vets. Who are you bringing up? Who are you bringing up? Remember, you're going up against one of the few people who know like the prospects around here. Go ahead. Let's have at it. You guys are smarter than me. Keep coming, guys. I dare you. No. Not yet. Not yet. Those 90s were blowouts. And in the 90s, when every young player was named captain, we knew they were traded that year. That's not this situation. This is definitely the beginnings of a bad Doug Weight run of like a 4 or 5 game losing streak. No doubt. But no, this is not 90s yet. Charles, now you're sucking up to me. Don't suck up to me. Don't suck up to me yet, Charles. I love that. But no, not yet. Oh, all right, Leo. Listen. I get it. Part of me agrees. But NHL owners don't want rebuilds anymore. Younger players don't want to go through rebuilds anymore. They don't. They'd rather do what Boston has done, what Tampa has done, what the Islanders were trying to do. Look at what Florida just did. They won 2 cups in a row. They had all those veterans. Was it time for a rebuild? Probably. But they signed them all again. This is not, and you all know this, and this is something we all have to start accepting here. The NHL is not a young man's sport. They are for highlight reels. They are for ticket sales. You look at any NHL team, 29, 30, 31 years average of all those teams. If you go into a rebuild, you're missing the playoffs for a solid 7 years. Solid. And then there's no guarantee of a cup. The league is too big. The players are playing longer. The NHL is going to expand probably. We're at 34, maybe even 36. Yeah, they're talking 36. If we're down to 27 teams, I'd probably go rebuild with you, because then we're only looking at a 4 or 5 year rebuild max. But it's not like that anymore. The times are changing. That's why I don't mind the mushy middle. I don't like the idea of the Islanders going into what I call the lottery league, even though it's probably what's going to happen. But Darsh has enough in the cupboard right now where this might only be max 2 or 3 years away. And I'm okay with that. Anything more than 3, okay? Most teams average 4 years, 3-4 years solid in that lottery league. I don't want to see the Islanders miss the playoffs that much. I don't. I like setting expectations for this team. This year is a bit of a pass with all the changes going on. There's no doubt about that. Right. Or Detroit. I get the business side, Leo. I do. But I want to see my team win. I do want to see my team win. You know, I accepted the rebuild back in 08 when we drafted Josh Bailey. Okay. That was the start of things. We got it. Nassau Coliseum, you almost had to. Right now, with the way, and you just said it, no team loses money anymore. There's no reason to go into a rebuild. If you're making the money, you can still win or win sooner. Don't wait 7 years. Don't wait 6 years. Charles, I'm not going to lie. I don't think we're going to be top 2 in the lottery. Just off the record. Top 5, I'm okay with. Top 7, I'm okay with. And I'm not going to lie. And I don't want to wish it, but if we get injuries, especially if we get injuries, I don't mind a top 2 pick this year. I don't mind a top 2 pick. Get me a number 1 centerman or get me a right-handed defenseman who can play with Schaefer. Hell, if the Islanders even draft a right-handed defenseman, I may just fall over. You guys know I've been like barking up the tree for a right-handed defenseman just to be drafted by the Islanders, like for God knows how long. I think I'd fall over. No. And I'm going to say this now. We're not in a rebuild. And the reason why we're not in a rebuild is because the NHL salary cap is going up to $40 million over the next 4 years. There's going to be too much money playing around. You answered your own question before. There is going to be enough money going around. With that said, these general managers should not allow their teams to go into a rebuild anymore. There's enough talent around with the players lasting, with older players playing as long as they have, and college free agency now looming. That's going to be an even bigger spot. We'll agree to disagree, but I love the conversation. No doubt. I can't see NHL teams doing rebuilds anymore. moving forward. And I agree, Rich. But if you're going to do it right, this is what you got to do. You got to keep the veterans. It's painful, no doubt. It's painful. You guys are going to go nuts. But it's going to benefit longer term. It's going to. We're doing something that we haven't done since the 90s. We kept those players from 88 to 92. We brought in all those rookies. Here comes 93. Playoffs in 94. What didn't we do? We didn't keep the veterans. Granted, there'll be some veterans here that just won't be able to play. I get that. But you know what I mean at this point. Jim, don't jinx me. I would love that. I would love it. I really would. Leo, that's going to be something for another show. That, okay? That'll be for another show. Thomas, I'm going to be that disappointment for you. That's really going to depend on Lee. I think Lee has a less of a chance of being traded than Peugeot at the moment. I think if anybody leaves before the trade deadline, I think it's more personal because they don't want to be here anymore. No gutter ball this year. As a matter of fact, I racked up my first game was a 195. I have it somewhere. Actually photoed. Hextall's. Yeah, but here's the thing now. Hextall wanted to stay beyond 94, and they didn't do it. Hextall wanted to stay, but they didn't have the money. The Islanders are going to have money moving forward, and that's why I'm a little more optimistic with this transition. And listen, this is why I brought up Jeffries, but it's not just Jeffries anymore. It's any left winger. If Anders Lee really does struggle this year, the idea was that if the salary cap never went up, let's say Alex Jeffries showed you enough that if he could score 15 goals and 35, 40 points, the same numbers that Lee just did, you could do it for pennies on the dollar. Instead of $7 million, you're paying the kid $1 million to do the same job. Yes, you're losing the veteran, the leadership, the experience, and so on and so forth. But with the cap going up the way it is, anything's possible at the moment. And I think that's why Matthew Darche is going down to Bridgeport. He really wants to see what he has and what players really do fit his system moving forward. And we're talking 3 years down the line. All right, let's go Blue Jays. Have fun, Leo. Thanks for the talk. Yeah, but they're going to have enough cap space moving forward for the next couple of years, which is something they didn't have in the 80s, which is why they traded LaFontaine. They didn't have the money, which is why they didn't, they let Trottier go. Trottier also wanted the money. He also wanted another championship. That's why he left. The Islanders are going to have that money. William Dufour? I don't know, bud. I don't know. He can't seem to stick with the team right now. And that seems to be the problem. William Dufour. Don't know. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Guys, you're in it for the long haul now. You're going to grow with Matthew Schaefer. That's what this transition is going to be about. The Islanders have introduced you to it. There's no other say about it. You can't get out of it. You're going to go through the bumps. You're going to go through the bruises with this kid. You're going to go through the ups. You're going to go through the downs. There's enough in this prospect pool right now that there could be some immediate help coming soon at some point. And then you got this draft. You've got this draft coming up. So take it one game at a time. Long haul. Leo, you were supposed to leave, by the way, but long haul, 3 years. For some Islander fans, that can be a lifetime. You and I both know that. Go watch your Blue Jays. This is about Matthew Schaefer, folks. You adopted him. You wanted him. You got him. Now you got to go through it with him. You got to go through his development. You got to go through his pain. You got to go through the trials. You got to go everything. Commercial break. Good one, Leo. Okay. You're here. You adopted him. You can't leave him now. One game at a time. You guys know me in the 10 games. I'll do my little segment on that. It might show a direction for this team. It might not. But I think for this season, I think Gary's right. I think Joe's right. 20 to 30 games will really give you a good indication as to where this team is going to go. Probably over the next 3 years. Is it the coach? Is it the players? We're going to find out. But don't do any analytics. Don't trade any players. Sit back, watch, be emotional. But don't leave Matthew Schaefer. Don't leave the kids. Don't leave Barzell. There are still plenty of Islanders to root for here. You'll know when they find themselves. And that's the most difficult part right now. The Islanders need to find themselves. Who are they? What are they? How good can they be? Go along with the ride. It's going to be bumpy. You've got no choice. If Matthew Schaefer is here beyond the 10 games, beyond the 9 games, so are you. Buckle up. It's going to be bumpy. That first time back in the playoffs, though, that's going to be exciting. So, any other questions, comments, concerns, folks? Listen, like I said, next week, it is my birthday on that Wednesday. I'm not sure if I'll do a show on a Monday or Thursday if I'm off that day. I also have another big wedding coming up that I'm DJing. So I don't know if I'm going to be available next week anyway. Definitely the week after, we can do that. And by then, we'll have more games. We may have more stuff to talk about, good or bad. And if there's anything else you want us to talk about during the season, and again, during this transition time, I have no problem going over Bridgeport, Worcester. I'm going, we'll talk college kids, we'll talk juniors. If there's a specific player you want to go over, let me know. We'll go over it. This is the time to look at your organization as a whole, and we'll go from there. How young? I will be 49. Haha. That's why I can talk back to most of you. I'm still older than all of you. So yeah, 49. And yeah, so if you want to talk about the rest of the organization outside of New York, let's do it. This is the year to do it. And what I will do is that I will no, not again, Robin. Good, cute. I'll show you or I'll tell you how I follow some of the prospects. We'll go over some of the numbers. Believe it or not, I don't look a lot at the numbers. I do look at their play. So we'll get into that. I don't want to say the art of scouting, but I'll show you, how I do things. Nothing wrong with a little education from time to time. And then you form up your own hypothesis on what you think scouts are. And then we just have those conversations. We get to do that now for a couple of years. And who knows? Maybe the Islanders start proving us wrong. Who knows? Anything can happen with this team. So, listen, I'm ranting. I'm not raving, but ranting. It's an hour and a half. It's time to go. Boys and girls, thank you so much for coming on. Listen, real quick, if I can get it on here, can you guys please, working on it, a little slow here. No, it's not the arthritis. Shut up. Follow Isles Talk on X at Isles Talk. Please like this video on everything Facebook and YouTube, and please, please, please hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get 1,000 followers on everything here. It's been helping out immensely. I've got 84 people watching right now. I'm completely grateful for you guys. I love these chats with you guys. Let's keep doing it here. We're with you. We're not going anywhere. Thank you so much for coming on. And we'll probably see you. We'll see you soon. Don't jump off the ledge. See ya.